everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be showing you how I do my face mask proof makeup. Now this is just the makeup that I tend to do when I know I'm going to be going somewhere where I need to wear a face mask or a face covering. So I finally got a good face routine down. I've tried lots of different things and I think I've finally worked out what products are best suited for when I know I'm going to be wearing a mask. Obviously, when you are wearing a mask, your breath tends to kind of go up through the mask, so it tends to create kind of like a humid environment on your face, on your skin. So yeah, this video is just going to be about the face makeup. And yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, I've done my brows. I've also done my skincare routine. I've applied my SPF. So like I said, this is strictly just going to be showing you what products I use and just sort of giving you some tips and tricks to make your makeup last a little bit longer when you're wearing a face mask. But what I'm going to use to start off with is the Milk Hydrogrip primer. It really does keep your makeup on. This stuff is really good, and you can actually tell straight away when you're applying your foundation. Your foundation doesn't spread super easily, so for me, I think it's just incredible. I don't think it's got any moisturizing benefits or anything like that. I wouldn't say it's drying, it's just tacky. It's just a sticky primer. I really want to get some nice cute masks because the only ones that seem to fit me are those blue like medical disposable ones, and they're nice but they're disposable, you know. I feel like it's about time that I get some reusable ones. Yeah, I just want something cute, you know. Next, going to be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade 2W1 Dawn. And I'm going to be using a sponge to apply this. The reason for that is, as I mentioned before, this primer that I applied, it really does cling to the foundation. So using a brush is a bit more hard work because I like to blend and buff more with a brush. With a sponge, I can just stamp the product on and know that the primer is just grabbing onto it. So the reason I'm using this foundation is because this dries down on the skin. I don't have to wear any powder with this foundation, and my skin can be pretty oily. I like to wear this because I know that this is probably the strongest foundation I have in terms of it not budging. I know that where I apply it, it will pretty much stay there. So I like to just focus on really stamping that onto the skin. If you don't get on with this foundation, God, do not feel like this is the only thing that will keep your makeup on underneath a mask. I think it's just about experimenting because, like I said previously, your skin's more in an environment of its own underneath that mask. You know, it's really humid underneath there. It can get kind of a bit moist, a bit warm, should we say. So I think it is all about trial and error with finding what works for you. So going in with concealer now, I finally got my hands on the Jouer Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer. I really like this concealer. I got the shade Wheat, which is a light neutral colour. And I was very surprised yesterday. I wore this concealer for the first time with wearing a mask, and this concealer's a lot creamier than the MAC Studio Fix concealer that I usually use. I was, you know, wearing my mask for a couple of hours, and this concealer did not budge. It didn't move. Honestly, it did not move. I was so impressed with it. It actually held up way better than my MAC Studio Fix concealer. So I just like to apply this with a brush. I usually prefer blending out my concealer with a brush. I just think it's nicer. I don't know, sometimes I feel like when I use a sponge, the sponge will take away some of the coverage, and I'm just like, ooh. So I'm now going in with the Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Luminous Bronze Light by Hourglass. You guys know it is my favourite. And what I like to do is just concentrate the bronzer up here, so I don't tend to go down as much when I know I'm going to be wearing a mask. I just think, you know, what is the point? But I do blend it down just a bit, but I really concentrate the pigment up the top here. I do find that my blusher and my bronzer tends to disappear once I've removed the face mask. It's kind of gone, you know. So I do tend to just put a little bit more on, but again, like I said, just concentrating it up the top and then just blending it down. And it's important that you kind of do this routine all over your face, so don't just kind of concentrate on the areas that are mostly going to be covered by the mask, because you've got to remember the warmth from your breath is traveling upwards, so your forehead does also get affected by the humidity from your breath as well. Don't think that the mask just encases everything, because it doesn't. So now I'm going to go in with my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush. This is in the shade Mood Exposure. And I'm going to place that more kind of where my bronzer is, so more here. And I like to take it up right near my dark circles, basically. But again, we're keeping all of the bronzer and the blusher higher than usual, just because you haven't only got to account for the actual kind of mask that's going to be covering your face, but also the straps as well. You've got to remember they're going to rub part of the makeup off as well. I've tested my base makeup for when I'm wearing a mask with other products as well, other bronzers, other foundations, other blushes as well, and the powder tends to just wear the same. There's no kind of difference there that I can actually properly pinpoint, so I don't think there's any kind of blusher or bronzer that you can't use. However, I'm not sure how cream products would work, so if you use cream bronzer, cream blush, again, and I'm aware I keep saying it in this video, you're probably going to have to test it out. Honestly, that's literally what I've had to do. I've tested out so many foundations with different powder products, with, you know, different concealers, spot concealing as well, but I found that this is my most trusted makeup that I can use when I know I'm going to be wearing a mask. So just literally pile on the blush and the bronzer. Yeah, you're probably going to look a bit crazy as soon as it's applied, but actually once you take that mask off, I promise you everything is going to just come together. It will all be a bit moist, and you'll probably find that some of your makeup will just rub off. If the material is on your skin, it is more likely to obviously rub your makeup off. But you know, again, it depends on what mask you wear. There's so many different masks. Everyone uses different makeup. Everyone applies their makeup differently. So you have just got to test it out. So for highlighter, I'm going to be using the Flash palette by Jaclyn Cosmetics. Oh my god, am I even going to be able to open it? I'm disgusting. I'm going to be using this shade here, and I'm not going to be applying a ton. Just going to put that there, literally the tiniest amount. There's no point in me highlighting my nose because it's just going to rub off. Same with my Cupid's bow as well, so I just keep it to the very high points of my cheekbones. The final step for my face mask proof makeup is a setting spray. I cannot highlight how important this is. If you want your makeup to last, always use a good primer, always use a good setting spray, whichever works for you. So whatever you find keeps your makeup on, use that. I'm just going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. And this stuff is so good. I actually do 2 layers of this when I know I'm going to be wearing a mask. And the layers aren't a light spritz, they are, you know, like a sprinkler on my face. So I let that first layer dry and then I use it again. Boom. Smells like baby wipes, but it is really, really good, and I cannot highlight this enough. Please wear a setting spray when you're going to be wearing a mask. Honestly, I've tested so many different makeup combinations to try and get this mask proof makeup right. For me, this is the best combination. I've really taken into account which products work for my oily skin and then thought about how I can combat the humidity from the warmth of my breath. This is currently my go-to makeup routine when I'm going to be wearing a mask. So yeah, this is all I'm going to be showing you today. This is just literally the base makeup. Obviously when it comes to eyeshadow and things like that, I haven't found that my eye makeup ever really gets affected. I would just make sure you're, you know, at the very least priming your eyelids before you apply eyeshadow. But yeah, this brings us to the end of the video today. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please consider subscribing if you like all things makeup, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.